Alrighty, everybody. Well, yet again, we're making a habit of this, but we're doing 2 episodes. So here is part 1. Catch me in the next one. Let's do it. Welcome back, everybody. This is NFC Northwest Coast Edition. I'm clearly not as energized as last week, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Unrelated, did you see that there's been a bunch of people going to Cancun recently? Like, it's not just the Packers anymore. I think it's the Lions, the Vikings. They have one new team to the addition.
Yeah, well, man, so close. So close. This was a great game, though. Really good
hell
game.
yeah.
Really good game.
I'm thankful every day that it wasn't the Eagles because they are the team to watch.
Yeah.
They're just boring.
Yep.
The Bears, you could say anything about the Bears, but you cannot say that they're boring. They're so exciting.
Yeah, before we get into the Bears game itself, though, I have to say that I thought the Bo Nix news, I thought Adam Schefter got hacked because I was literally like, this is not real. This is not real.
Yeah.
Like, the guy was literally walking off the field and doing an interview. What?
Have you been seeing the jokes that people are made that this is planned because they don't want the Patriots to have a new dynasty because the Patriots only lose to shitty quarterbacks or the Mannings, and in a very special occasion, you get both of those two things with Eli Manning.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I mean, I feel really awful for Broncos fans.
Yeah.
And
I think it hurts more for especially both our teams because it kind of again the Broncos defense is good enough to maybe do it again like they did with Manning that one time. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. So I think this is the easiest it's ever looked to have a chance against the AFC because there's no Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen didn't go far.
Yeah, I mean, if the Broncos pull off a win, quite frankly, to me, it'd be short of a miracle. Like,
yeah,
it just seems. But you never know.
You never know.
So
Patriots are
a
complete team. But...
And I mean, the Patriots got it done, but Drake May was throwing some interceptions there, and you're playing against a top D. So who knows if you get a couple defensive scores or your defense sets you up, and it could be a low scoring game.
The kickers will win.
Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, I mean,
on another side note, this one kind of. You know what? You didn't beat us. We didn't beat you. It's not our fault that this is happening. None of this is our fault. You want to know whose fault it is? You have to see this. It's only 20 seconds.
Okay.
Press play.
Oh, I've seen this.
You're good. For the podcast. It's this kid's fault. It is all of this kid's fault. How do you guess every single one wrong except for the Patriots, of course? It's all her fault. We blame her.
49ers!
Crazy. Well, she had to think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was close. And then the one for the Broncos, she picks the Broncos. And that's why I remember I had to put this. She picks the Broncos, but she's like, nope. And she swaps it, but they still lost. So she had to think about it because they lost Bo Nix. So,
yeah.
This kid.
Crazy.
Anyways, I had to bring that in.
Oh, man. I mean, obviously, it was a lot of emotions. Very, very disappointed. Like it was a gutting loss because I thought the Bears were going to pull it off again, and they almost did. They were very close. Came up short in overtime, and like I said, I thought we had it until Caleb's interception at the end, which of course there's a lot of noise going on around that, but
the drip must come to an end sometimes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've had a couple days here to reflect about it, and of course, when everything is fresh, it's, really disappointing. And especially, in previous years when the Bears have made the playoffs, it's always felt like it's been kind of like a one and done type of season where, they just they fall off and they don't make it in the next couple of years. And I was talking to my dad about it after that game because obviously I was pretty emotional about it, and I was like, I just felt like this was our year where we could have had that magical season. And he brought up a great point. He goes, but we didn't have a coach and we didn't have a quarterback in previous years.
Yeah.
So
you have the two most important things, right?
Yeah. So and I mean, first Caleb's second year, first playoff, year, and Ben Johnson first year as head coach. So I think really what this game came down to, besides like it, of course, besides like not coming through at the end, it really showed both growing pains from the coaching perspective and having a young QB. And I mean, the opening drive, Ben Johnson going for it instead of kicking the field goal, which now you look back at the whole way the game went down, it's a devastating call. Way too early in the game. I mean, reward your team with points there and live for the next drive. And again, I just he needs to I like the aggressiveness, but he just really needs to just pull it off the gas pedal a little bit.
Like you like to say, simmer down. We've talked about Dan Campbell with the exact same
and it's
agenda, if you will, or the same narrative. And I don't think Ben Johnson's to that level. I feel like Ben Johnson still he's a little smarter with it, but this is his 2 first playoff games, and it did bite him in the at the last game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, like I said, some growing pains, right? Because I don't like the call there, and even when it was happening, didn't love the call. But I mean, when you look at the overall picture, statistically, the Bears played a better game than the Rams. When you look at total yards, the only differentiation, which was the difference in the game, was the 3 turnovers. Everywhere else, statistically, and I mean, they may have had a couple more penalty yards, but everywhere else, they were more efficient, more yards per play, more rushing yards per play. So it's just, and I mean, the defense holding the Rams to 20 points.
Yeah.
They played their asses off. And
I mean, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be honest. I was shocked that either team was able to at least move the ball in that temperature because that thing was cold. I mean, I get it wasn't, there was some snow, some frost going on, but yeah, I felt like it's just, everyone was cold. Not even just the Rams. The Bears were cold too. Mm-hmm. And they're built for this.
Yeah.
But I will say there is no excuse for the Rams either. Okay, Matthew Stafford's never been able to play in the cold, but Devontae Adams didn't play well, and he's a cold playing type of wide receiver. And then all of these other players kept on talking how, oh no, we practice in the cold. They didn't really show up.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, besides the multiple drops from Bears receivers, I really didn't think the cold played that big of an element when you look at everything else.
That's probably why they dropped it, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Besides that factor right there, Rome Odunze, he needs to practice all winter long because he had very catchable balls, very crucial situation. I mean, again, even the opening drive, the ball's in his hands. That's a touchdown. We don't have to go for it on 4th down. Another crucial play on 3rd down. The ball's in his hand. So, I mean, they want to talk about Caleb Williams' completion percentage, but what they don't talk about is that Bears had one of the highest drop rates in the league this year. So it goes hand in hand, and it showed up again in this game because
some of those were his fault, though. Some of those throws, they didn't look accurate at all. So, but again, he's young. And the Rams defense is a good defense. That's to be expected. Yeah. So I didn't expect them to go light up the Rams. No one really did. But he surprised me at that last quarter. I mean, he shouldn't anymore.
Yeah.
There was a Packers fan that did this whole skit, and they're acting as the Rams, and then they're acting like they're the Packers. And the Rams' face is just like, what? Did they make that? And the Packers fans yeah, he does that. He does that. Because we know what it's like now.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you. There were some clear throws that Caleb missed, but then again, when you look at the balancing level of it, there were also some clear throws that should have been caught, and it kind of equals out to me. And
yeah,
I just, like I said, it's very disappointing because I think the offense played a hell of a game. Like I said,
the defense played a hell of a game.
Sorry, the defense.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I meant.
Sorry, I thought we were jumping.
The defense played a hell of a game. this is the top scoring offense in the league, and they haven't scored less than 20 points in 20. I think I read somewhere that 20 points was the lowest they've scored in their last 13 games.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I gotta tip my hat to Dennis Allen, who had a love-hate relationship most of this year, but
I've been very vocal on him. He planned a wonderful game against the Rams, and a wonderful game against the second half of that Packers game. So
yeah, and I mean, and it sucks that the defense just couldn't get a turnover because that's been their identity instead.
Matt Stafford's been really good at protecting the ball this year. So
he turns over the ball a lot against the Bears, though.
Yeah, but this is every year is a new year.
Yeah, he's having a great year. For sure.
This is one of his. Yeah. This is a career year for him.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys were able to hold him with that duo of wide receivers, because I do think you guys have a top 10 wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver crew. I still think they have a better one. No offense. I think that Odunze still needs to develop a little bit more because I still think Puka is a little bit above him, and Devontae at his age is still. I mean. Touchdown leader. He's still a beast. So I feel like that's the number one marker in the playoffs right now. That tandem of wide receivers.
Yeah, Puka I think is really just in his own.
Yeah, I think Puka's
category.
I think Puka's up here, man.
He's just a really good receiver all around.
Oh yeah, but you guys held him. For the most part, you guys were able to keep him on check.
Yeah, I think so. I know people are talking about it, and I want to talk about it as well because. Before we go too far in, let's talk about the controversial catch and no catch between Brandon Cooks and Davante Adams, right? So, in the Bills-Broncos game, Brandon Cooks catches the ball, rolls over, Broncos receiver ends up with the interception. Okay, that's ruled an interception.
Sure.
In the Bears-Rams game, Davante catches the ball, rolls over, the Bears end up with it's called that he's down. So either
they're
the
little bit different though.
How? What?
So I mean I could again we'll put it on if you want later on the podcast, but one is falling and he never gains they never called it as that's down. He never held control. And the other one, Davante Adams, they already called it to them. They called it a catch, then his knee touches down. And then the rest of the play happens. So that little millistep is enough to say that's possession.
This is the whole thing that's been ticking me off about all year long. Is when are they considered having a possession? It's.
Here's the thing. I'm with you. Let them review it. But they did review it, and New York called it the way they were going to call it.
But that's the frustrating part about it. Is listen, regardless of how it is, it's not that different. I have to completely disagree with you. But regardless of how you look at it, it is. If you want to say a fraction of a millisecond, no,
we say this is a game of inches.
One of the things is, and where I was going with this is one was called a catch, one was called down by contact, or I'm sorry, one was called interception, the other one was called down by contact. And I was gonna say Bills or Bears got robbed. In my opinion, it was clearly the Bills got robbed. I think that if you're gonna call Davante Adams' play, he catches, his knee hits. It's the same thing with Brandon Cooks. He has the ball, clear possession in his chest, his knee hits, but as he rolls over, the guy grabs it. I have
to watch that again. I did watch it a few times, but I got to watch it again because it did seem like it was almost like a joint possession for the Bills. While when it came to the Rams, it didn't look like it was a joint possession at all. He was down, and then that's why they called it down by contact.
It's very similar. It's really, really similar.
I mean, again, I have to watch both again, so I can't definitively say either one in an opinion. I just remember it that way, but I could be biased. I mean, I'm wearing a Davante Adams jersey, so
yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, it's just frustrating, and I can see how. I mean, personally, if you want to call it down by contact, I'm fine with that. If you want to say they have to maintain possession through the entire catch, which a lot of the times they also say that as well, then go with that route. But it can't be almost very similar plays, literally almost identical. And one is an interception, one is down by contact. And so it's frustrating. I feel bad for Bills fans because, who knows? Who knows? And, but it's.
I will say,
officiating kills
and
me.
that did hurt
me.
them. But without talking too much about the Bills, I just want to connect it to Caleb. I feel like Josh Allen played really bad. He had a lot of costly turnovers.
He didn't have his greatest game,
and he didn't have.
Yeah.
Because I think Caleb also played pretty bad.
Yeah.
But at least Caleb put the Bears in a position that they could come back.
But had that been called a catch, that would have set up the game-winning field goal. So that's why it's very frustrating for them. You know, like if that is called a catch down by contact, then the Bills win that game. Most likely.
Most likely, yeah. You don't know.
Sure, but
and don't get me wrong, I do think that the Bears. Okay, I'm not trying to give too many props to the Bears because this is never going to happen again. I don't think the Bills deserve to win that game. The Bills play like. And don't get me wrong, I think the Bears didn't play their best game on offense.
The Bills' defense played pretty good.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But the defense for the Bears played so well. Like, I hate what they call defensive games where it's like 3-6 or something like that. No, this was a legitimately a defensive game.
Yeah.
And the Bears played really good. Like, I'm eating my words from last week when I said that I don't see the potential with this team. No, the way they played against the Rams, they have a lot of potential on that defense too. So I don't see that same thing with the Bills. I don't think they deserve to win that game.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, like you could say the elements did play a part in that a little bit, in the sense of, you know, maybe Puka wasn't so accustomed to playing in the cold. So, but the thing is that, excuse me, a lot of people, you know, called the Bears defense, including myself. I'm one of those people.
And in some parts I still think they're.
But to show up in this shows that when they execute, they can execute at a high level.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, it's frustrating because Jaquan Brisker, wow, what a freaking game he had. But besides the point, just had to recognize him really quick. It's frustrating because it seems like the offense has been carrying that, you know, like, and just we needed the offense to show up, and unfortunately, you know, like we're saying, the 3 interceptions is just, and Caleb has been so good at taking care of the ball, but yeah,
I think Caleb has been introduced for the first time to playoff football, because in the playoffs it's a different beast. And don't get me wrong, I think he'll fix this. I think he'll clean that up. But this is his first experience in the playoffs. And of course, we know defenses play completely different in the playoffs. They're more aggressive. They're willing to take bigger hits, or they're willing to give bigger hits because there's more on the line. And I think that kind of showed in this game, because there were some throws where I was like, okay, maybe the DJ Moore one might have been on DJ Moore. Granted, I don't think we'll talk about that throw later. I don't think that throw should even been made or called by Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
But the other ones, like in the end zone, like that's a momentum shift. You guys did have control, in my opinion. If you guys get that touchdown instead of turning the ball over, I think we're talking about a different game right now.
Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about like a breakdown. So Caleb's first interception, it's just a ball that got away from him. You know, it sailed too high over Colston Loveland's head, and we talk about it all the time, right? You can't overthrow receivers because the safety is going to be back there to catch it. So that's on Caleb. You know, there's nothing more to say on that, but that's something that you can teach.
Yeah.
The second interception was also on Caleb because he threw the ball into double coverage. Like there was nothing there, and he tried to force it in. Again, something else that you can teach. Like, don't throw the ball into double coverage, right? Or at least squeeze it in. But that's what Caleb's known for. So that's like kind of what Ben Johnson talks about, is you can't like overcorrect him, because you don't want to take away the things that make him special, which is making these incredibly athletic throws that a lot of other quarterbacks can't make. The third one, you know, I hearing it back, I can understand what Caleb was trying to do, but I agree with you that Ben Johnson, this is the growing pain aspect. Like, you're moving the ball, you're getting into field goal range, just continue to move the ball down the field methodically. You don't need 30-yard, and I know he loves his explosive plays, but you don't need to call 30, 40-yard passes. Like, get your little, and I mean,
and the 3-4 yarders were working.
Yeah.
The Rams couldn't stop you guys. So I thought you guys were going to win that game.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. During that drive, like, you could tell, like, we were chipping away. And I mean, definitely hurt us that Colson Loveland exited with a concussion because, I really think that that's Colson Loveland time right there. But regardless, I mean, I think that Ben Johnson was, this is what you love and hate about him, right? You love the aggressiveness, but then you're like, oh, we don't need to have our foot on the pedal going 100 miles per hour.
I wrote it down as you live by the Caleb, you die by the Caleb. Because he has some of the most explosive plays.
Yeah. And I mean, playing devil's advocate here, you could argue that maybe Ben Johnson was making those play calls because when it did come to like short yardage situation, we were really struggling. Like we would be 3rd and 1 and could not get that 1 yard.
So,
so I mean,
I get it. I get that.
I don't know.
But okay, so I'm there's a lot of good that I still want to talk about Caleb Williams and the Bears. There's also some there's some negatives too that I just can't be nice about it either. Because okay, let's talk about it. How do you defend this? 50+% completion rate, right? 2 touchdowns, multiple picks against an NFC West foe, and is almost able to come back, but throws a game-sealing interception at the end. How do you defend that?
Well, I mean, you can look at it in multiple phases. 1, don't love the play call.
Sure.
2, the way Caleb described it is he knew exactly where the defender was, and he was trying to flatten DJ's route out, which, I mean, if DJ actually starts cross instead of running more vertically, he catches that ball. Like the defender was 4 yards behind him. So clearly a miscommunication, right? Because I'm like either miscommunication on DJ's part or Caleb. I don't know, because where Caleb threw the ball, DJ would be in front of him if he actually decided to, to do the underneath route instead of staying. Yeah, this is DJ Moore.
I wasn't talking about Caleb Williams. I was talking about Jordan Love in the divisional round against the 49ers. I was trying to see how you could defend that because literally the same thing happened, the same percentage, the same interceptions, everything happened in the same way, and you were very critical on him with no.
I was okay.
So
we're gonna go back to this then.
No. I have a connection to Caleb Williams on this, right?
Okay.
I just wanted to see if you would defend the how you played in your first or second, because that was Jordan Love's second playoff game. If you would use the same talking points for Caleb Williams, and I get they're different, totally different in how they played. But I'm going to defend Caleb Williams because I saw the same things happen to Jordan Love. I saw him and how the media ripped him apart. And yes, Jordan Love didn't have that beautiful once-in-a-lifetime throw, one of the best throws I've ever seen in my life. But he did keep the Packers alive, and then he threw an interception because one of his wide receivers ran the wrong route.
But so what I don't understand the connection, because what I've said about Jordan Love is I don't see the clutch level. I don't see the clutch factor in him. I didn't talk about his. I don't think I've ever actually talked about him constantly throwing interceptions. That's always been a point you've made.
You told me that he's going to throw another pick to the Niners, or because it was the Niners, and you've criticized how he played against the Niners, how risky he was, and he played them pretty well until the last quarter when, like, again, conservative play, and then one really aggressive play by Matt LaFleur did screw everything up, and Tucker Kraft didn't. He didn't run the right route, rookie Tucker Kraft. And then on the other interception, he tipped it. It rolled over a bunch of times, and that's how they picked him off. So I tried defending that none of these interceptions were on Jordan Love. I remember this. This is a long time ago. But I got eaten alive by you and Eddie. That he's just risky, and yet he was risky. I get it. But I'm trying to say that Caleb was pretty risky with that too. And I will defend Caleb because I think that you have to let these players take these types of risks.
I don't know specifically the Jordan Love play that you're talking about. I can go watch the play.
Sure.
But to me, that throw wasn't risky. It was the play call that was risky. To me, the throw itself, like I said, if DJ adjusts his route and crosses the field instead of continuing to run vertically, he catches that. He throws it in a place where he catches that. But because DJ wasn't there, it just sails into open space where the defender was.
Can I put my I can't say that word, conspiratorial hat on right now for a second?
Okay.
I don't think they're going to admit it, and I don't think the Bears know. I honestly think that DJ had a concussion because he was being evaluated.
DJ was definitely like playing hurt all postseason.
Of course he was. But you could tell.
Ever since he got that blindsided back hit from Krishan Nixon,
he
hasn't been the same. He really hasn't. Okay. He really hasn't.
I mean that's fine. I'm not defending Nixon. If we don't want him.
No, but I'm saying like ever since he got, because you could even tell that there was, I don't know if it was last game or game before, but where he got hit in the back again and he was like down for a little bit, and you just immediately think like maybe some
that's fine.
Weird.
Not fine what happened to him.
No.
Again, I don't like Nixon. Fuck that dude.
But I'm saying like I agree with you in that like DJ was like and I mean like he's not an old dude, but he's older
for
in
wide
the
receivers,
league.
Yeah,
and he's older in the league, so maybe he's
been
also a little tired.
He's been playing since he was in his early 20s.
Yeah,
and
I think it's his 7th year in the league. Yeah, I don't know, but still.
But this is his third team, second team.
Yeah,
and then
I don't know. I have to look.
I have to look at that too. But he's been playing for a long time, and he's been the number one for a long time. So I expect him to be a little more banged up than other wide receivers.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to be honest, he's not most of the season because of Rome, but in these past like 5 weeks, he's been seeing an exponentially more amount of targets because,
I don't want to sound like I'm overly critical. I do think that those interceptions were really, really...
No, they were on Caleb, for sure. Yeah.
I also think that...
the first two. I think the third one could have...
I think that's still on him for executing it. Because if you look at the video...
This is his 8th year in the league.
He's old.
Yeah.
He's probably like 27, 28. Because
you could tell, like, even after the Packers game, like, he was just dead.
Yeah, he
was just like, I'm so.
I'm just to go back to this a little bit. I'm mad at how the narrative is that he gave up on the play. I honestly think he didn't look the same after that evaluation.
Yeah, I just think it's a miscommunication. I think that it's, like I said, it's probably something taught where if the safety is in this position, you run this route. And the reason I think it's on DJ is because Caleb has spent so much time with Ben and his like cerebral offense where it's like, you do this when this happens. You do this because of this. This is the whole reason of, like he's constantly like has Ben Johnson in his ear, literally. Yeah. And so... I don't think I'll know for sure, and I really love that Caleb didn't actually like put it on DJ, and I think that's great leadership on his part. Yeah. He just said like I haven't talked to DJ about it. It's just a miscommunication. Like I tried to throw him one way, he kept running the other, and that is what it is. Yeah. Because had he thrown him vertically, I think it would have been a contested catch. I don't think it don't think it would have been an interception, but I also don't think it would have been a catch. I just think but had DJ run more horizontally, I think that like he would have been open. But I kind of forgot where I was going with this. What were we talking about?
We were talking
Caleb's
about
throws?
How risky his interceptions were this game.
Oh yeah. But I told the first one, ball got away with him. The second one, I definitely think was a risky throw. But again, I can see where Ben Johnson's coming from. Is like you don't want to overcorrect it.
I did say that eventually these will catch up to you. I don't think I was wrong with that because it did eventually catch up to him. But I do think that I was wrong about the defense completely. I was wrong about the effect of the clutch.
Still up for discussion.
Okay, sure.
I mean, I think the thing is the inconsistencies, right? But you could say that across the entire Bears team. Like our offense was inconsistent, our defense was inconsistent. But what I loved about this particular game is the same identity we've had all year long. The defense came up and they executed. They executed at a high level. They sacked Matthew Stafford, I want to say like 4 times. And, Matthew Stafford did not have a particularly good game, and had Caleb not thrown the interceptions, he would have had a better game than him. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way.
No. Because I could have said the same thing about Jordan Love last week, and I got chewed because you said, you're the one that brings up stats or whatever, because it is at some point. Like I do think Jordan Love outplayed Caleb Williams last week. Like I can't change my mind. I think I agree with you. I think Caleb Williams is more clutch than Jordan Love. I think that Jordan Love is more complete right now because he has more years, like you like to say all the time.
Oh yeah, and I mean, okay, that's a good point. I can see from that perspective and how it is a double-edged sword. But my whole point of it was that it was about the defense, not so much about like Caleb playing better. It was more so that like the defense did what they needed to do to hold Matthew Stafford in check when Matthew Stafford is having an MVP caliber year. So it's tough, and
No, I agree, and I think that probably kept Dennis Allen alive with the Bears.
Yeah,
because now they're probably not. Well, they probably weren't going to fire him anyways, but they're probably going to give him another year or two just to see if he could figure this.
Yeah,
this
and I
out.
expect the Bears to go like really. I mean, well, when it gets it, but I expect them to go pretty pass rush heavy on. Even though they sacked Matthew Stafford, we just need help in our pass rush, and we need some run stoppers in there too.
Oh, pick up in free agency or?
Oh no, the draft.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Ooh, I have a fun fact.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, cue it up.
Oof, not working. A whole year, man. A whole year.
There we go.
So did you know that in the past there were more than the 7 rounds in the NFL draft? Like way before we were even born.
Okay.
So there used to be up to 32 rounds. God, 32 rounds.
That seems excessive.
Yeah, exactly. So in the 1940s and 50s, there were 32 rounds. When we got to the 60s, I believe we went down to 20. And all the way into 1992, there used to be 12 rounds. And in 1994, it was restructured to what we now know as 7 rounds, what we have now. Here's the unso-fun fact, right? The Packers in 1972 or 74, I can't really tell, picked up the worst player in the history of the NFL. And I don't mean worse by how he played. Maybe he did play like shit. But the Packers in 1974, in the 17th round, picked up a wide receiver from Oregon who is a serial killer, who is suspected of killing up to 50 people. He played, he got picked up, he stayed in our camp, and then we dropped him before the season ever started. So he never played as a Packer, but he was a Packer. So there's your unfun fact that the Packers picked up the I-5 serial killer.
When you started this fun fact, I don't know why, but my brain was like, watch them like draft like a 45-year-old guy. and that was like why I assumed that he would be bad. Because I'm thinking like 32, well, not at that time, but 32, how do you find enough Ohio dads? I don't understand. Like how?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
But I forgot his name.
If you didn't watch our earlier episodes, you guys wouldn't get that reference.
Yep. Plumbers. No, plumbers are strong. Not even plumbers. Probably just...
Watch our... well, JC wants to redo it one day, but it's our...
We'll redo it in the off season. But yeah, that is the unfun fact of the week. The Packers are one of 2 teams that have picked up a serial killer. The Patriots are the other. If you really consider him a serial killer, but he killed 3 people, so maybe. I
think if you kill more than one person, you're considered a serial killer.
Yeah, he was only convicted of one, so we don't. What's his name? Tight end dude.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez. Oh. So we're in good company.
I'm not trying to get killed, so innocent. Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. The last thing I'll just say about this game is, congratulations to the Rams. It was a great game.
Yeah.
They pulled it through at the end. Both teams, I think, played a hell of a game. And, I agree that, unfortunately, Caleb's turnovers were costly. Hail Mary to Cole Kmet, though, at the end. Oh, my God.
You got it. You have to
dude,
paint the picture because you have to set this up because that might have been one of the best throws I've seen since Aaron Rodgers.
I don't even know. Yeah, so we thought the 4th and 8 across his body was like the greatest throw, but I mean, this guy being rushed by 3 Rams just constantly running backwards in the backfield. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking like, this is it. This is it. Game's over. This is it. And just stops on a dime, turns around, and I don't know. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And that was the moment when you were like, the Bears are gonna do it again. The Bears are gonna do it again. You know, but they came up short. But
I mean, as much that I talk about the Bears, I gotta say, with that guy, you might have a chance. But when I say that the team does need to work on some things, it's starting to remind me of Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers also had all the talent in the world. And I think maybe 3 people in the world can make that throw. I think Aaron Rodgers was one of them. But there were always holes. Yeah, maybe we had an opportunistic defense too, but it was never to the point that they could hold anybody under 20 points.
Yeah.
And our offense would be inconsistent at times, not because of him, but the run team, just the run wouldn't work, even though I think the run did work decent enough in this game. But that's my concern, which the Packer fan in me hopes ends up happening. But the Caleb fan in me doesn't want him to go through that. And I think that with Ben Johnson, you're less likely to go through that because it's not Mike McCarthy.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap up part 1 of this episode. And stay tuned for part 2.